Hey, mate.
Yes.
You know how we've been married 47 years?
Yes.
And I bought you a present for our
Really?
anniversary.
I didn't get you anything.
Doesn't matter. That's okay. Do you want to see what I bought you?
A box.
Well, open it up. See what I bought you.
Oh, goody. You know how I love surprises. Where's the scissors? That's a surprise. There's no scissors. Am I going to like it?
Oh, well, I think so.
Did it cost a lot?
Yes.
Oh, it must be good. Hey. You kept this secret?
Oh, you know what I'm like. Like to surprise you every now and then. Gee, I hope you like it. Oh, another box inside too. Oh, look at that.
Airbag, man.
Yeah.
I don't think I'm going to like this.
Oh. Oh, look at that. Hey? Not every woman's lucky enough to get a set of those for a anniversary, is she?
Guess what? I don't feel very lucky. I feel a bit disappointed.
Oh, what? 47 years
I
and
have
you're
to go to the
disappointed?
plaza and buy myself something.
Well, on the box, got a code for the instructions and the operating manual. Inside I've got a bracket and a hose cutter. Two bags themselves. And another box. It should have all the bits and pieces in it, I'm guessing. Hose, top brackets. And put it together. Even a sticker. Guess I better read the instructions. I wasn't going to bother putting airbags in this car because, as you're all probably aware, it's got this, the 23 model onwards got upgraded suspension in it, and it handled the weight of the van okay on the last trip. So I wasn't going to bother, but I don't know if you can tell in this shot, but as standard, the rear suspension, if you measure the distance from the rim to the top, on the rear it's 310 mil and on the front it's 330, so the vehicle is sitting down at the back standard. So the quickest and easiest way to fix that and to help it out with the extra load of the van on the back was just to put the airbags in. I had Airbag man bags in the 200 series and ran them for 7 years without a problem. Just like the product. It's probably the most expensive on the market, but the guys at Airbag man were good enough to help me out a little bit and chuck in a few things for nothing, so I've stuck with them. I approached another airbag company that won't mention their name, but they weren't interested in helping out at all. So thank you to the guys at Airbag Man. The instructions say to prepare the air lines first and remove the bump strip, and I'm going to assemble the bags first. take it from there. So the elbows for the air input go into those holes, and that's for the top mountings. The instructions say to tighten until that seal touches the top, and then another 3/4 of a turn. I mean 1/4 of a turn. Next we put the heat shield on the left hand one. We've got to bend that down when we get it under there just to make sure it covers it. So then we take one of the brackets, line the air fitting up through the hole. Couple of the nuts out of the packet. Get that all centered, then tighten it up. Okay, now we take the left hand side one, which is the one that's going on the passenger side with the heat shield. And we fit this on. We have to offset that to the center. Just check the instructions. So when it's fitted, the bag is more towards the center of the vehicle, away from the wheel. It's got to go like that. So before I fitted that up, I just got under the car, so it bolts up there onto the stops. The exhaust pipe goes down there, and the air outlet's going to be at the front. So if I want to mount this away from the tyre, then that has to go like that. We have a bolt. So then we do the same to the right hand side, but the mirror reverse. So if that's like that, then the offset has to be on this side. You bolt that on, and I just read the instructions. You can leave these bolts loose until you fitted it up, and then tighten them once you're under there. So I'll just finger tighten it at this stage. As always, I'm just looking for shortcuts. I'm going to try and do this while the car's on the ground without jacking it up. There's the bump pads up there. They're a 12mm bolt to get them off. No, I can't get the leverage under there. I've lined on my back, so I'm going to have to jack it up. Take that wheel off, one at a time. Bloody hell, I reckon I've taken a million, well not a million, thousands of wheels off in my time, but oh yeah, these wheel nuts. That's a tight fit. One got jammed in the bloody bar. Glad I found out that before I was out in the middle of nowhere. Anyway, got the wheel off, so we'll get that bump stopper off. That's off. I'm going to use those bolts. Use those two bolts again. I'll just put them to one side. Bump stopper, don't need it anymore. So I've very carefully loosened the D-shackles. Got the spare wheel under there, so if anything goes wrong it didn't fall on me. Luckily it didn't. So you've got to be able to raise the shackles 10mm, which we've done. So now we'll see if we can get the bracket in there. Okay, so that's in. We've got those two bolts to go in up here. That's another mission, trying to find the hold. There we go. just tighten all that up. So now I'm just tightening up the U-bolts. Just a bit at the front, bit at the back, bit at the front, bit at the back, just so they come down evenly. And I can see where they were before I undid them, so make sure they're in exactly the same spot. And then I'll get under there and tighten them up and hope the car doesn't fall on me in the meantime. Oh, that was fun. It'd be so much easier if it was on a hoist. That's all seated properly there. All bolted up top. So I might just put one end of the airline in this side. There it is. You just seated in there. I'll decide where that's going to go later. See if I can get this spare wheel back on now. These are method wheels. Yeah, very tight fit. Okay, on to the next side. Just had to duck off to Stormy's tyres down the road. See Paul get a special socket for these wheel nuts. Can you believe? By a car with aftermarket wheels on it, they don't give you a socket. The guy that owned it before must have stashed it away somewhere. Anyway, we're set now. Second one went a bit smoother. I got the airline plugged in there as well. All tightened up. Put the wheel back on and maybe that's enough for today. I've just mounted up the two valves on here. Just sort of measured out roughly the distance I need. Left a fair bit up my sleeve, so just gonna cut it. And then cut the conduit. And I'll just feed that through the chassis rail, I hope. Okay. So we've run all the cables. Just crank the compressor up and see how it goes. Just gave it a little bit of air at 20 psi. 20 psi lifted to about 20 mil. I've just got to pump it up tomorrow and spray some soapy water on all the connections. Can't hear any leaks, but that doesn't mean there isn't. So we'll come back tomorrow with the final verdict. Just a couple of little tests to do this morning. I've put them both bags up to 40 psi. So now I've got to get under, just spray them with a bottle of soapy water. No leaks on that connection. Couldn't get to this other connection from under the car, so had to take the spare off again. Can't see any bubbles there, but I've got to get my glasses. No, that one's all good. The other thing I didn't check while I was on, had the wheel off, was the distance from there to the top must be between 5.5 and 6.5 inches. Looks pretty good, but I'll put the tape measure up there. Only got one hand, so I have to turn this off. Yeah, it's around 6 inches, so that's all good. Now to the other side. Go onto the driver's side. Saturate it in soapy water. No bubbles there. This time while we got the wheel off, I can pick the ruler up. Distance from the bottom. Around about 6 inches, certainly between 5.5 and 6. Still no bubbles. That looks like we're all done. Before we started yesterday, we were at 310. Distance from the top of the rim. We're now at about 350. And the front was 325, so that's a 40 psi, so I'm going to drop it down to 20 psi. Why did I do it? Just to level up the ride. Certainly no replacement for the weight distribution bars when I put the caravan on. I'll still be using those. I'll probably run the bags at 30 or 40 plus leveling bars, and it should give me a nice level ride. So there's only one last thing to do. I'll proudly advertise you, Airbag man. You're a good product, and thank you for the support.